Hey guys, Kristi Noem is not playing around. She just left a warning for all illegal immigrants here in the United States. On CNN's State of the Union, she said, you need to leave the U.S. before, quote, we have the opportunity to sweep you up. Wow. Guys, do me a big favor, hit that thumbs up like button as you watch this clip.
President have said repeatedly that the worst of the worst will be held at Guantanamo. There are a few dozen people there already. I believe they're right now being held in cells formerly used to house terror suspects. So can you give more specifics about who's there right now, what crimes have they committed, and how long you're going to detain them?
So there are several planes that have transported individuals to the base, and they are in the system and the facilities that, a lot of our worst terrorist criminals have been incarcerated for many years. These individuals are the worst of the worst that we pulled off of our streets.
Who are they?
Murderers, rapists. So when I was there, I was able to watch one of the flights landing and them unload about 15 different of these criminals. Those were mainly child pedophiles, those that were out there trafficking children, trafficking drugs, and were pulled off of our streets and put at this facility. So I'm very thankful that they are off the streets of the United States and that we have safer communities.
And how long
today.
will they be there? Are they going to be?
They'll be there until we work with arrangements to take them back to their countries where they belong and have consequences dealt with them there. So they will be treated much like many other individuals in this country that are those dangerous criminals that don't belong here.
Do they have legal counsel?
They have due process. Everybody has due process, and every individual has the right for that. And my job is to make sure we're following the law and every single individual that we're bringing into custody and transporting back to their home country.
So since they're there now, they've already gotten access to legal counsel?
Yeah, they followed all the same process they would with anybody else that has come in through these systems that any administration has done it. Every step is being followed and due diligence being done, even with these individuals that are so dangerous.
You're building tents for a lot more than, how many are there now?
Well, they're putting up tents that will have the capacity to go up to 30,000 people. That's not stood up yet because a lot of our soldiers that's got there received orders just days ago. I think they've been putting up facilities for the last 5 days. So they've got a lot to do yet, but they have the capacity to start taking individuals.
So when I saw those tents, first thing, and I saw the pictures of you in the tent, the cots.
Right.
First thing I thought is, how are the worst of the worst, as you and the president describe it, going to be in those tents? How is that even safe?
Well, we're following all the same standards and procedures that we've always had with our detention centers, whether they're in the United States and now to be utilized here at Guantanamo Bay. So those facilities, I think we need to be really transparent about and make sure that people know what they're like. And we're going to be encouraging people to continuously, if you're in this country illegally, you should go home. You should go back to your home country. Don't wait until we have the opportunity to sweep you up because you have overstayed your orders, you have final removal orders, or you've been committing crimes in our communities. We do not want you here, and you should leave. And many of the countries we've been negotiating with, they've been willing to come to the table and said, yes, we'll take them back.
So there are lots of different sort of buckets of people, if you will. You're right now talking about, as you say, again, the worst of the worst, people who you say committed crimes. But it's still unclear how, first of all, whether there are 30,000 people who fit that description.
Right, correct.
Are
We
there?
are going through the process of identifying those that are on our radar. The president committed during the campaign that he believed we needed to have mass deportation. So we're going after those that have been the violent criminals perpetuating crimes in our communities, also those with final removal orders, and then we'll continue down the priority list.
And will they be held in the tents?
It's potentially, but we're going to keep people safe, too. So it depends on how dangerous they are and how they act in these facilities. So we have beds in the United States today that we're using and will continue to use that are ICE detention facilities. But we've got a lot of local law enforcement, a lot of communities and states that want to partner with us, too, saying we have facilities if you would like to partner. And I think that's fantastic because that's really what we need is the federal government working with those local officials because they know where these dangerous criminals are.
I just want to ask you about that before I move on. There are reports that ICE is over capacity.
There have been reports, but remember, we're continuously busing people back to Mexico, continuously flying people out of the country and repatriating them back to their. So there's still room, absolutely.
The Lincoln-Riley Act requires you at the DHS to detain individuals who have been charged with but not convicted of nonviolent crimes like theft or shoplifting. ICE you talked about ICE facilities, it comes and goes, but at some point they're likely to be at capacity. So could those people end up at Guantanamo?
I don't know what the president will decide as far as utilizing it. We want to have the capacity. The facilities will look different.
Exactly.
They certainly will not be used if in these prison systems. We have different camps at Guantanamo Bay, different levels of incarceration. We will have some facilities that will be up to the same standards as other detention facilities in the United States. And I don't think the president's going to tie his hands on what he needs to do to make sure that America is safe. He truly does believe and knows that the American people want to be put first for once, and that illegal aliens and criminals should not continue to live without consequences in our country and receive the benefits of being a citizen without making sure that they're doing things the correct way, that nobody is placed above anybody else. All laws apply to everybody equally.
Undocumented immigrants detained in the United States, as you mentioned, have a right to legal counsel and due process. But one of the questions is about whether or not Guantanamo, you have the law on your side to actually use Guantanamo for this purpose. We have seen, obviously we know about the 9/11 detainees there. We also know that when somebody who is trying to get into the United States illegally is interdicted at sea, they've been brought to Guantanamo. I don't believe that people who are already on U.S. soil have been brought to Guantanamo.
No, well, Guantanamo Bay has been used for migrants in the past.
No,
you're right. When they've been coming to the United States, they've been used there.
Are you comfortable that it is legal to bring people who are already on U.S. soil to Guantanamo?
I am, and the president's comfortable with that, and his legal scholars are. And obviously, there'll be people that will be critics of that. But we are standing up the operations, believing we have all legal right and authority to do so. And that facility has been used for migrants in the past. The direction that they're flowing and the agreements that we have with their home countries will continue to keep that population changed.
Okay, a lot to break down here, guys. But first of all, thanks for leaving a like. Every single like helps out the channel, and I appreciate all the support, guys. Okay, let's break this down. Under President Trump's leadership, the administration is aggressively detaining and deporting violent criminals who enter the U.S. illegally. Now, Kristi Noem confirms that murderers, rapists, child traffickers, drug dealers are now being sent to Guantanamo Bay before being deported. So does this signal the return of Trump's tough on immigration policy? See, the administration is reviving the use of Guantanamo Bay to hold the most dangerous illegal immigrants. Why is this necessary? Is this a common sense national security move, or is it just a temporary fix for a broken system? And how does this compare to past administrations that allowed criminal migrants to stay here in the U.S.? Now, the government is expanding Guantanamo's capacity to house up to 30,000 illegal immigrants before deportation. So will this deter illegal crossings, knowing that criminals won't just be released back into the United States? Should we go even further and expand detention centers across the country? See, the campaign promise of mass deportations is now being executed, starting with the worst offenders. With ICE stepping up enforcement, how quickly can the administration clear out these criminal migrants? And how will states respond? Will blue states continue to resist, or will they comply with federal law? See, some critics are claiming that detaining criminals at Guantanamo is a legal gray area, but Trump's administration says that it is fully within their authority. So, should illegal immigrants, especially violent ones, even have the same legal rights as U.S. citizens? Does this send a strong enough message to discourage future illegal immigration? See, Trump has made it clear, guys, that American safety and sovereignty come first. The administration is prioritizing deporting criminals, enforcing the law, securing the border. Will this be one of the defining achievements of Donald Trump's presidency? And what happens next? Is the administration going to expand Guantanamo's use beyond just violent criminals? How are Democrats and open border advocates going to react to this strong stance? Should the administration push for even stricter border policies, including faster deportations and more detention facilities? Guys, let me know. Do you support Trump's decision to send criminal illegal immigrants to Guantanamo? Should this policy go even further? Drop your thoughts down in the comments and let's discuss it, guys. And as always, guys, I appreciate everyone for all the love, all the support. Thanks for the likes. Thanks for the comments. Guys, thank you for subscribing to The Difference. Couldn't do it without you. Y'all have a great one, and I'll catch you later with another update.